that an eagle is the longest living non-human species? An eagle can live 70 years. But when the eagle turns 40, it has an important decision to make. After 40 years, the eagle's beak begins to bend, so it no longer can rip open the carcass. And its talons become weak, so it no longer can grip the fish. And his feathers become thick and heavy, so he can no longer soar. So at 40 years old, the eagle has to get all of his strength to get back up to the mountain. And when he gets back to the mountain, he's got a decision to make. If he's going to live another 30 years, he has to bang his beak against the mountain until it falls off. And then when the beak grows back, he uses the new beak to pick out all of his talents. And he's in his nest bleeding. But he knows that God strengthens through subtraction. And after he knocks his beak off and pulls his talons out, now he's got to pull out every one of his feathers so new feathers can grow. And it takes 150 days for a 40-year-old eagle to add 30 years to his life.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. Yeah, I know I had to do a title that I knew would draw y'all in. So I know you guys are used to me going back and forth with someone who hates my guts, doesn't like me, but this is going to be a different show. And I figured this would be a great time to do it on a Sunday because I figured, in life, you have a lot of people who are miserable. They hate themselves and they love playing the victim role. And they sit there and they talk about how they're victims, but they keep hurting other people. That's what they're doing. So people are starting to see that these people are just a bunch of liars and they're using their energy and their health to hate other people. And you got people like this beautiful woman, Angie, who was battling stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. So if anybody knows anything about, my friend Alicia, who passed away this year from cancer and left behind 4 beautiful kids, a lot of people are catching cancer like a cold and no one knows when their time is up. So, right now, like I told Angie, most of the haters that don't like me are Black women. And if you look at my post from yesterday, they hate on other Black women for no reason at all, because they're insecure, they're jealous, and you'll see that most of my haters are older than me. So I have to teach these older idiots how to carry themselves. And the sad part is most of these women have kids. And the legacy they're leaving behind is a legacy of hate, jealousy, envy. But when you talk about real stuff like this, this is different from the Queen of Accountability's normal routine. This must mean that she has a paid actor. This is what Black women do. And as a Black woman myself, Angie's also a Black woman, and she can attest to most of her haters being Black women. And I just wanted to redirect that energy. This woman is a fighter. And I didn't get a chance to do a show with my friend Alicia because she passed away. And I wasn't going to allow another day to go by without me allowing this woman to share her story. Because a lot of these bitter old hags, they need to hear this woman. And it saddens me that these evil individuals are out here living a great life. And these angels, these beautiful people like Angie, are out here fighting for her life. She's fighting to stay alive. And I just think it's sad how a lot of people feed off of drama, but you'll never see them doing anything like this because it doesn't mention the Queen of Accountability. See, a lot of these people out there in life are profiting off of me, and I'm not even talking about them, thinking about them. What I care about is the real things. And I'm going to bring Angie on. Listen, guys, I know a lot of y'all thought this was going to be an attack session. It's not. I want to bring awareness to what this beautiful woman is going through. I have a lot of friends who have, passed from cancer, and they didn't know that it was going to happen. One minute they're laughing and they're loving life, and then the next minute they're on the verge of losing their life, or they've lost it. So I want you guys to know that besides being evil and hateful and feeding off of drama and lies and all that crap, there are people in this world that are fighting. Every day is a blessing for them. So I think it's time that we talk about the real shit too. I'm not all about just talking about holding people accountable. I'm also talking about why we don't come together as a community to help other people. Y'all feel what I'm saying today? If anyone's lost anyone to cancer or knows someone that has it that's fighting, this show is for you. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring on Angie. Angie, are you there, Queen?
I am here.
Angie, I want to say again, thank you so much for deciding to do the show. Guys, I want to remind you, when I reached out to Angie, she told me she was honored. This is another Black woman who has been following my page this entire year, and she told me she loves what I do, but it's what she's doing that I love. She's a hero. I don't know a lot of people that can go through something so scary and be strong about it. I don't meet a lot of women like her. Alicia was another woman I met who went into this with no fear. And I think I would be very, very scared. And this woman doesn't have any fear. And if she does, she doesn't show it. So, Angie, if it's okay with you, I wanted to show the latest video you made on your Instagram. And then I want you to go ahead and speak. Is that okay with you, Queen?
Absolutely.
Okay, so guys, I'm going to show her latest video. And again, my haters who hate me, who use their energy to talk about me, I really need you to listen to this, because you should be glad that you're still alive with all the hate and bitterness that you hold in your heart. You should be thanking God that he's giving you a chance to change. Maybe this is your call to change. Here we go.
A lot of the times people don't like to talk about things in reality that we actually deal with. So I'm diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, and I am considered terminally ill, which means that there's not really much they can do as far as surgery and things like that. A lot of things are done to just manage my pain or minimize my condition or the effects of the cancer through my body. Today, which is a conversation I have been avoiding having with the hospital for a long time, was a power of attorney for healthcare. You know, they want to know that if the event that I come to the hospital and something happens and I'm not able to make a decision for myself, meaning going into cardiac arrest or going to a place where I might need life support or might need to be resuscitated. So, of course, these are the paperwork that I need to do. And this just is saying what will be my wishes in the event that I need to be resuscitated. I have made a decision to not be resuscitated, meaning that if I'm in surgery and I flatline, I don't want to be brought back. If there is a situation happens where I need life support, I do not want to be put on life support and held on life support. God knows what he wants for me. And if he wants me to see out of being flatlined and be here, he's going to do what he needs to do to make sure I'm here. I don't want anything extra pumping me and keeping me here longer than I need to be. And this is a decision that I want, and I want it to be fulfilled out. So I thought that it was a great time for me to finally do the paperwork and let everybody know that, if my time is coming, my time is coming. And it's a hard thing to talk about because we don't like to talk about the end. But know that if God chose for me to die today, I'm okay with that decision. Up until today, I have lived a fulfilling life. I have lived a good life, and I am happy. And if it is my destiny for me not to be here tomorrow, then so be it. I don't want to be hooked up on machines. I don't want to be on life support. I don't want to be any of those things. I want to leave this world in a natural form. I want to be cremated, and I want my ashes to be given back.
So, Angie, when I'm gonna admit, when I saw that video you made, it really did break me, because you are a strong woman, you're a fighter, and hearing you talk about do not resuscitate, it really broke me. It really did. And with that being said, I just want to say again, thank you for doing the show. And guys, I want to remind you, Angie also lives in the same state as me. We're both in Illinois. And like I said, this beautiful woman has been an inspiration to a lot of women. And at the same time, Angie gets a lot of hate from a lot of women too. So with that being said, Miss Angie, go ahead and speak, honey, and tell us a little bit more about what's going on.
Well, thank you for the amazing introduction. When I saw the first video, I just want to say that video always makes me cry because it's just an emotional thing that I had to share. A little bit about me. I am currently fighting stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. Currently, there's not much that can be done as far as surgery. People are like, oh, you should get surgery, have these things removed and things like that. And those are not options for me. I'm kind of on palliative care. I've been sent home for hospice a couple of years ago. And after that, I made a decision to continue to live and not let, my death sentence be my death sentence, to be my life, living sentence. And so in spite of that, it's been a journey. I had a double mastectomy in 2020. I had breast reconstruction surgery after that. I went into remission for about a year. After I went into remission, my cancer came back metastatic to my lungs, and I was sent home for hospice. That was over 2 years ago. And now my cancer has spread. Hold one second. Sorry about that. My cancer has spread. It has spread to my liver, my lungs, my spleen, my lymph nodes, and various parts of my body. Right now, if you can see this lump here is the tumor that's causing me the most problems. So I have this mass here that's about 8 centimeters in size. And due to this, recent, my left vocal cord is damaged, and I've been on like liquid diets. I'm not able to consume solid food a lot, causes me excruciating pain. Then I also have another mass here that presses up against my esophagus, which even if I am able to swallow down something, it gets stopped right here. And at that point, eating food has become scary and painful. It blocks my airways. I can't breathe. And I get to a point where I have to regurgitate the solids just in order to be able to grasp air. So I'm currently taking I'm prescribed about 5 different pain meds. Currently, I'm taking two kinds of morphine. My doctor just asked me if I wanted to take fentanyl, which is, I declined because, all of the things we see about that. And the morphine is very strong. And I had a instance when I was doing Norco where the Norco became very addictive to me. And I found myself, not that I was not in pain, but I found myself going down a down spiral. I think it caused me, suicidal thoughts. I felt like I couldn't do anything without it. And so I decided I went into a detox, which is crazy because imagine yourself detoxing from drugs, from an opioid, from an addiction, while also being in pain. And so that's kind of where I am as it goes into diagnosis.
You were finished?
Yes.
Okay, so now Angie, I know that you've told your journey all on Instagram, but I remember seeing a lot of your posts on Twitter. People have an opinion of you. I just wanted to ask you this question. I know you have a lot of people that love what you do, but do you also have a lot of people that hate what you do online?
I absolutely do. The crazy part about that is, we hate ourselves so much that, we find it hard to see somebody embracing and living cancer the way that I do. I think what was the most hurtful thing to me was not the people that were on the internet saying things. I had insecure women in my family who, could not believe that I actually had cancer, which in hindsight, I couldn't understand. They're watching me lose weight. I went from 220 pounds, 230 pounds. It wasn't until they saw me and I was this skeleton that they even, felt empathy for me. And because the entire time they were telling people I was faking cancer, don't donate to her GoFundMe. She's trying to get beef. I'm like, what? Y'all know I'm going through cancer. Y'all see me at chemo. I had one of my cousins say, she's good at making up shit. You shouldn't believe that. She, it's all a hoax. And so to have that done by your family who has watched their own grandmothers and people die of cancer, to say such hurtful things in such a time where you should be embraced. Then you get online and I have women who, will say things like, oh, look at her. There's no way she has cancer. She's doing these things. And it's hurtful. And I went into a depression where I said, I just couldn't understand how with having this disease and facing death that people could be find hate in that and not see the beauty in cancer and not say, man, this is an amazing woman who has chosen to fight cancer in a way that nobody has. Our grandmothers, they showed us how to die of cancer. I'm trying to show you how to live with cancer. And it's every day, it's never understood. I just recently had a conversation with my partner, and he was like, it doesn't really seem like you're sick. You was this kind of sick, you was this kind of sick. I said, well, it's not that I'm not sick. It's that I'm choosing not to wallow in the sickness. And as long as God gives me the ability to get up, I'm going to work out. I'm going to dance. I'm going to live. I'm going to vacation. I'm going to do it like there's no tomorrow. Every day is to live. And when I read the comments, people will say, oh, well, they won't even look at the cancer videos. He'll read the comments and people will say, well, look at her fucking titties. She had her titties out and she had an implant. What does that have to do with me having cancer? Women will say, look at her ass. What does that have to do with cancer? Nothing. And just because I have a certain body shape or a certain figure and I choose to, present myself in a beautiful manner does not take away from, how I feel when I wake up and I'm in excruciating pain. They only see a portion of my life that I allow them to see. It is not, I don't have to show my weaknesses, and sometimes I do, but I'm trying to show you how to live and how, amazing cancer can be, and that the death sentence doesn't have to be this horrific, horrible journey. And even in the hospital, you see my videos, Daphne, I'm in the hospital making my own bed, cleaning up my own room. They trying to put me on blood thinners. I said, I don't need no blood thinners. I'm finna get up and walk this floor 2 to 3 times. And, some days I'm in the hospital, I can't walk 2 to 3 times. Sometimes I can make it 1 time. But the fact of the matter is that as long as I get up, I can keep going. And even the hospital, they were like, oh my God, you're doing, based off of, looking at I had the doctor come in and say, I've only saw her talk to you on the phone. And I just want to say that, knowing your record and talking to you on the phone and seeing you cry on the phone and be in so much pain, begging for morphine because I've ran out. I couldn't imagine that this is the face of that person. And I asked her why. She said, I just couldn't. You're so beautiful. You look so good. You in here. The room smell good. You smell good. You're bright. You're vibrant. And I said, man, you got to stop that mentality. Y'all have to stop that shit. She was like, we do. And, every time I'm judged by my outer appearance and not by my inner appearance and not by the reality of what I'm facing, what I'm trying to show, the inspiration I'm trying to give. So many women are in this culture are going through cancer now. And I let them know I have my non-for-profit. There's a beauty in this. You don't have to sit down and look like that. We are woman first and I'm cancer last. You don't have to look ugly. You don't have to resemble what they think you should. Cancer can look beautiful. Cancer is beautiful. And it's so many different ways to fight. Even when they say, go to the doctor and they said, we don't expect you to make it. We're kind of just giving you medicine to prolong life. And that's where I am, just in a prolonging life state. But I am not going to let that determine however long I have, if I'm going to live it miserable. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to live it where I care about validation. I'm going to look beautiful. I'm going to dress sexy. I'm going to dance. I'm going to shout. I'm going to anything I want to do. And there are times where I'm doing these things and people don't understand. I got to take, all this morphine just to do it. And so I feel like we don't give enough grace to each other, especially women. I think women should have more empathy for me than they do, to look at me and not see the story and to point out what they think is flaws. I don't care about you calling me bald head. I actually like my bald head, and I think I do pretty well, I don't care about you saying, oh, one of my breasts are lopsided and somebody did a horrible job on my implants. I don't give a shit. I got titties now. I didn't have any, And the reason why one of them is sagging is because I had an incident where, it was ruptured. So I have a ruptured implant as well on top of all of the other things I'm going through. And that causes excruciating pain because when it gets cold, it's like walking around with an ice pack. And it could be 90 degrees outside and I can still be extremely cold and in extreme pain. So women don't give enough grace. You know, even for men, they'll see me talking about cancer and expressing my stories and they'll say, I'll still hit though. I mean, when you get done with this cancer thing, can I take you out? What you doing tonight? And it's like the audacity of people, just the lack of empathy or the lack of care that we have for people. We are so stuck in what we're stuck in. We forget about the person. We forget about the goal, what is really here, the cancer, And so, man, it can be difficult. I had almost attempted suicide a few months ago because of the things that were said on the internet, things that were said by my family. I have family that, didn't come visit me in the hospital. Everybody says, call if you need. And then you call and nobody shows up. They just don't. And that let me know that this fight is mine to fight. Don't care about what they say and what they don't say. If they show up, if they don't show up, it's your fight. Fight it as much as you can in the best way possible. And the best way to kill the ugly motherfuckers, that's what I'm saying, is with love and with happiness, because people would hate to see somebody happy, So
I thank you for that. And I know you're getting emotional talking about it. So it does sound to me like, is it safe to say that majority of the people that hate you online are women?
Yeah.
And let me ask you this.
We're going to say all of them. I don't get any much. Men only hate when I say stuff when I'm talking about different things, but I'll say like 90% of the hate is from women, even in family.
Okay, so you said 90% of the hate is for women, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now let me ask you this, and I want everyone to hear this because I've asked many women who have the same mindset as we do, Angie. What is the race of the women that hate you the most?
Black.
Wow.
The white women love me. They embrace me. They're like, yeah, put
Same.
When I go to a white or any other race besides black, we're not to say white because I have German, Russian, different kind of people I've encountered, friends. They love me. The way that they embrace me. I had one lady, my banker, Caucasian lady. I'm on the phone with her telling me, she said, man, I'm crying, Angie. I want to do something. She helped me with my account and she actually put me online to get like some business credit. She said, let me tell you about Angie. Angie is amazing. You hear me? She got this book. She got this. She got that. She was speaking for me. Other cultures, the way that they love me and embrace me, it's just, man. But from my black sisters, from my own people, all the hate. Yeah, no love, no support, no embrace, no uplifting, nothing.
I want you guys to really hone into what Angie just said. And thank you, Jason. Jason said he's from Germany, Angie. So
Hey,
a lot of people don't think I'm international and that a lot of my followers are not in different countries, but I like to always promote the people who tell me they're from other places. So shout out to Jason in Germany. Thank you, sir. But one thing that Angie just said to you guys is that majority of the hate that she gets comes from black women. I've been saying this for years. Right now, there are black women attacking me, and majority of them are older than me. So you would think they would set a better example, but instead, I have to teach them how to be ladies and be poised online because they clearly didn't get taught that in the house. But one thing Angie said is that she's being hated on for who she is. I want y'all to see how deep black women will go when it comes to hating another woman. We're all looking at Angie. She is a beautiful woman naturally. She is a bombshell, in my opinion. The girl's bad.
Thank you.
And not only does she have a beautiful outer appearance, her inner is just as sexy. And what hurts me is that she's not bothering anyone. She's not doing what I do. She's not holding people accountable for lying online and trying to hurt people. She's telling people about her cancer journey and it's pissing black women off. So they hate on you for anything. If anybody looked at my post from yesterday, these black women were attacking another black woman for finding love and being engaged to by a black man. They're calling her fat. They're calling her unattractive. They hate on you for anything. So when I tell people that they're jealous of me, I'm not making it up. Why would they hate on Angie and all she's doing is sharing her cancer journey? Because they want her to be weak. They want her to sit in a bed with tubes and say, yeah, guys, this ain't the life. Angie's not going to go out like that. She's a fighter. Do you understand what I'm saying to y'all today? A lot of y'all got to start focusing your energy on real stuff. Stop entertaining these losers, these old ass bitter black women online who have nothing to talk about but hate. But the minute they post something good, you'll see they get 9, 10 views. You know why? Because people are only messing with them because they're full of drama. See, me, I can switch it up. And I want y'all to understand that this woman, Angie, she is strong. She's stronger than a lot of people that I know personally. And she just sat up there and told you guys that her own family doesn't help her, don't believe her. So when I tell you that our race is our own worst enemy, I'm not making it up. I'm giving you guys examples every day. Like, you guys would donate to someone's GoFundMe who's lying before you donate to Angie's GoFundMe. You need proof. Well, I just showed y'all the video to show you her in the hospital. And I would have let her boob show, but I don't want to lose my page. We know how YouTube is. But I want y'all to know that this woman is not making up what she's going through. But you guys are quick to donate to these BS GoFundMes of people wanting money for nothing. And Angie, I did want to tell you that I did speak to my husband today, and he's speaking to the news editor. I want to see if we can get a story on you. Also, I reached out to a couple of my partnerships in Illinois to see what else we can do for you, because I'm going to make sure that we fight this together. I'm not going to let a day go by without you knowing that I really do appreciate you. And I want to tell you guys, one day Angie had to drive herself to the hospital because those same people that said call me wasn't there for her. Do you remember telling us about that story? How did that happen?
I'm glad you brought that up. Right before that story happened, we had like a family event. I don't remember if it was a prom or a send-off or something. And usually I don't go to stuff because when I get there, I don't put my best on. You know, I be in the hospital. When I get out the hospital, I'm me, you know. And I was like, man, I don't want to go, because I find myself always dumbing myself down just to be around my family, because they don't see the cancer. All they see is my body. My family. I grew up in a family of dark-skinned women. And so there's always been a colorism issue in my family. So that also is there. Got a lot of hate, racial things and stuff as a kid. And so a couple weeks before that video, it's a family event. I went and I had on this white dress and I thought I was looking, good. And at first I wasn't going to go. I told my one cousin that I really knew rock with. I said, I don't think I'm going to go because, I just the energy. And I'm not in a good space for that. She said, just come, whatever, I'll come. And when I tell you, from the time I walked in the door, so I actually didn't even stay that long. I didn't eat no food. I didn't do nothing. And one of my cousins actually cursed me out. We got into it for no apparent reason. She was like, bitch, I spoke to you and I'm sick and tired of this shit. I said, what? I just spoke to you. She like, no, you did that same shit at such and such house. I ain't gonna say that for them. They'll know. And I'm like, what? In front of everybody. Like, it was so loud that people stopped talking. When I tell you the way that my family looked at me, half of them barely even spoke. They couldn't see past their own insecurities to say, damn, bitch, you look good as hell. Bitch, I knew you was in the hospital, but you're looking good, bitch, today. That's what I would do. But they can't do that. And so when I went to my car, I cried. And my cousin said, she said, you don't ever have to come to anything else because the way that it happened, she said, that was fucked up. They was gossiping, whispering about me and stuff. And it was just sad. And so when I was in the hospital, because I haven't been in a hospital in the last 6 months, man, every month, at least a few weeks a month. So it's been rough. And first time I went to the hospital, the family was all like, oh, on their Facebook, like, oh, call me if you need me. I'm coming to see you. Whatever. I was in there a week. Nobody never came to see me. Right. The day I posted a video of somebody, I'm coming home or something like this, I just was coming to see you. I just was coming. If you was just coming, I was there a week. You never came. So it gets you in a space where you're just like, forget it. You got to do it. You got to just get up and do it. I had ate something and it couldn't go down. I couldn't breathe. So I had to make myself throw up to get air. and still in pain. At the time, I was on Norco and I think Dilaudid, and that was not working. And if anybody knows how strong those are, they are strong. And I actually call or text one person. It's like, I'm not available, whatever. And I just was like, I'm not going to even, that would stress me out more to call people and nobody, and to get the constant no's. So in pain, crying, I drove myself to the ER. When I pulled up at the ER, the guy at the thing, he seen me so much, he know me personally. Then I left my car there, and he said, just leave everything here. I'll make sure that you get your stuff. Now, the sad part about me driving myself there in pain, the valet guy took care of me. He got me in a wheelchair. He pushed me in. He made sure got my bags out the car once I got settled and moved my car and everything. He actually put my car in the parking garage for me. Brought back the ticket, but on the way into the emergency room, I can't breathe. Again, I get short-winded, and sometimes it almost causes me to fall out. So because of the pain and my heart is beating, and I get in the emergency room, and now there's a walkway, and the security's like, you need to put a mask on. And I said, I can't put a mask on because if I do, I'm scared I might pass out. I can't breathe. I can't get any air. And I'm not saying it this way because at the time I was like this. I couldn't breathe, and he can see it. And tears are rolling down my eyes. And he wouldn't let me in the emergency room door. It wasn't until one of the people behind the door saw the commotion. And he had called security on me. And the other security said, are you crazy? She can't breathe. He had to check him. Get in there in the emergency room. The way that you're treated in there, it's almost like going into jail instead of going into the hospital. And when I was in there, I ended up being in there for a week and a half or something like that. And I had called people to, see if somebody could get my car out the garage. That never happened. Due to me being in there so long, they don't validate over those days. So they validate the day. It cost me, mind you, I'm on Social Security. I checked myself in the end of the month. And so while I was in there, of course, I got my Social Security check, and I had to pay my bills while I was in there. And so after I got done paying a few of my bills while I was in the hospital, because, you don't have help. Matter of fact, this was the time I was being evicted. I was actually being evicted from my place. I had to pay somebody to move my stuff out of my apartment while I was in the hospital. That's what I spent the money on. I had to, when I finally got out the hospital, I had about $300 and some left, about $400. I had to pay the $400 to get out the parking lot, which left me with I was in there begging, like, I've been in the hospital. I got the paperwork here. Can you validate it? The parking garage was not trying to validate the parking. It cost me $400 to get out, and I had $30 to my name for the entire month after that. So I had to come on and drive Uber to make money just to be able to survive. And I did the video to just say how, you can't count on people and stuff like that. And now everybody's like, oh, you should have called me. I'm like, I always call y'all. Y'all either busy, don't answer, unavailable. You'll post under the videos, you should have called me. Why didn't nobody call me? You didn't say nothing. Well, hell, you get to a point you get tired of calling people. Is there a time where people say, let me just check in on you and see? I know you're dying of cancer. Where is the empathy, and where's the compassion? Ironically, after the video and the comments in there, I would take that some of my family maybe either got offended or got, maybe an opening eye, or, got a little heart. And, I got more help after that from my family, a little bit more support. So.
But in my opinion, it shouldn't have taken you to have to drive yourself to the hospital. Now, when Angie posted that on Instagram, it really angered me because I said, we're supposed to be helping each other, lifting each other up. I've seen people make these posts about it takes 6 people to carry someone's casket. Why can't we take 6 people to lift someone up? And they're not lifting anyone up. It's one thing to post things, but if you're not practicing what you post, you're an imposter. That's how I feel. How many people are actually checking on other people to see if they're okay? A lot of people claim that they're for Black people and they do all this, but you won't find anything that they're doing because they're not doing it. And a lot of people want my spot, but they don't know what it takes to play my role. You feel what I'm saying? This isn't easy to do. And what Angie is going through, it's a battle that nobody would wish on anybody. I know some people might wish bad on me. I get that every day. But one thing we both know is that they're not God and they can't control when we wake up and when we go to sleep. Y'all feel what I'm saying? But I wanted people to understand that while you are online being hateful, there are people that are sitting here trying to fight to be in this world. And I just feel like if we could control who went and who didn't, it would be easier for us to say, okay, yeah, Angie, you're gonna be fine. But at the end of the day, Angie does not have the support that she should have. If her own family's treating her like this, but one thing I learned is that strangers will do more for you than your own family. I learned that when I moved to Chicago. I learned that. So one thing I told Angie is that will never happen again. I don't care if I'm in another state. I'm going to make sure that this woman never has to go through that again. Now, Angie doesn't know me personally where she can say, yeah, Daphne, you've been, and I'm not going to have her come up here and lie. But the question I did have for Angie is, and I think I asked you this before, what made you start following me? Because I know that you have a big presence too online, but what made you start following the Queen of Accountability?
I love accountability. I think it's something that Black women lack. And when I see you holding Black women accountable, I was like, man, I found you through one of my other people that I've done shows with. He has a podcast from the Whole Phase Expert, and
yeah, he's here too in Illinois, right? We all here. Yes.
And he always is posting you and stuff like. So I checked out. I was like, man, I love the accountability part. So I started going through stuff. I'm like, yes, finally, a Black woman telling these Black women holding them accountable, because nobody holds us accountable for our faults. We too much pacifier each other. And the reason why we pacify each other, because if we have to hold you accountable, then at some point we have to eventually look at ourselves. And we don't want to look at ourselves ever. So we'll say, oh, girl, that's cool. No, girl, eat that shit. Girl, fuck that shit. Girl, cheat on that man. Girl, do that. Because we're doing the same things. And God forbid, somebody gets better than us, oh, you acting different. You funny. No, I grew. I grew. I never get offended when people say you dad being different, you're funny. Thank you. I grew. And so I love the accountability part. I love holding people accountable and, following you and watching your stuff. And I was like, man, I just love it. I've been a fan ever since.
Well, thank you, Angie. Like I said, a lot of people, they have mixed reviews of what I do online. They tend to think that I only attack Black women. What they're not understanding is the content that I get is posted by these women, and they get mad when I share it, when that's the whole point of them putting it out there. They're more upset at me than the person who created the content. And that's what you just said. Too many people are telling each other, oh, yeah, girl, you're fine. Keep hating her. Keep talking about her. Yeah, sis. What are we doing? As Black women, what are we doing? But Black women are the first ones to say Black men hate us. Or they'll say that I'm a modern day Karen. They'll say that I don't like my own race. I'm bleaching my skin. All of these lies they're coming up with to avoid accountability. And some of these lies I never heard, but I thought it was funny. So to be called a Black Karen, and like you said, Angie, other races, they love me. These Karens that they say I'm like, all these other races, they respect me and they love me. They don't get mad at me for sharing someone else's content that was put out there publicly. It's my own people because they think I'm going against other women by talking about the things they're doing. So, Angie, my question to you, you said you love accountability. Would you ever change anything that you do online right now to cater to other women?
I learned to stop living for validation. I also realize that everybody's going to have their own perspective and their own perception differently because we all grew up different. We're all different people. We all were raised different. We receive and we give different. And that's okay. I put it like this. When we go out into the world, if we encounter 5 people when we walk out our doors, that's 5 different perspectives and 5 different perceptions we'd have to live up for. So we got to live for 5 different people in just 10 minutes. You drive yourself crazy living for validation. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry for cursing about who likes me and who doesn't. Validation is not required here. Not in this body, not in this life, and not in this time. There was a time in my life where all I cared was validation. I wanted to be validated by my family because I was a light-skinned kid. I wanted to be validated by them, and I allowed myself to be used and abused and hurt. When I tell you I have such a big heart, the same people that I done housed in my house and been on call for, giving money to, people who owe me money, I call and didn't show up, you know? And so I just was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm going to live. Unapologetically. Whatever life I got, it's a month, a year, 5 years. I'm going to live this thing up. And I'm not going to care about what people think and what people say. And sometimes when I have to hold myself accountable, it hurts, but it's the truth. We hate the truth. We hate living in reality. We all want to live in a fake fallacy, and we want everybody who sees us in our fake fallacy to agree because they're also in a fake fallacy. And we're like outsiders because we aren't in the imaginary world. We in the real one. You did something, sis, you fucked up. Hold yourself accountable for. You did something, say it. Say, I'm fucked up.
Angie, do you have a lot of friendships with Black women?
Girl, I ain't got no friendships.
None?
I'm getting some new friendships. I have a couple that over, through things, this new me, this new life, I'm gaining some. I had one person that was my assistant. I thought that was my best friend in the world. Man, I'm sure you saw us on everything together. Man, I realized that girl was only using me, and she became envious and hated me just as much as anybody else. But you know what they say, keep your enemies, they do stay close. They have to know you and so that can infiltrate. Well, her owe me thousands and thousands of dollars. I was getting evicted because of her. I had been extending myself out to this girl. When I met her, she used to work for me. She was being evicted from her place. I helped her find a place. Her kids didn't like her. They didn't like themselves. I mean, I gave them a total 360 life, and it felt good. But in return, what I got back, I felt like shit, and that was part of my depression. I thought we was locked in. I had then showed up for her. I was sick, and she didn't have a car. I was letting her drive my car to take her kids to school because it was costing so much in Uber, and she was being late, and some days they didn't go. That lady tore up my damn car and left my car in the parking lot.
Wow.
And then
How long were you guys cool?
A few years. She started working for me in about 2021, and we just ended the friendship this year.
So let me ask you this. When you guys ended your friendship, did she go online and broadcast it, or did she take it quietly and went on with her day?
She couldn't broadcast it because everybody who knows me and who has also saw us together has known how much I showed up for her, right? And if she couldn't broadcast it, it would eat her up. I never did anything to her. At the time the friendship dispersed, I just started saying no. I didn't have anything else to give. And I started to see that once my money started to diminish because I was making money on podcasts and my product sales and stuff like that. And, doing shows, public speaking. And I was carrying her, a lot. She had a lot of benefits, free trips, free everything,
Right.
So my car broke. She messed up my car, thousands of dollars. After she took my car, would you believe I rented her a car through Uber so she can drive Uber through the Hertz program or whatever that was?
Wow.
Didn't pay it off my own driver's license and my own bank account. Should have never did that. So she basically driving Uber in my name. I could have got in all kind of trouble. She didn't pay the rental car, couldn't keep up with the rental car. She comes to my house one day. They actually repoed the car in front of my house. I called her and said, her vet. When I came downstairs, she was sitting in the lobby and didn't even see them yanking the car up. That's how careless she was. I said, look, they're repoing the car. After the car got repoed, I told her to call and see what was going on, figure it out. She didn't. The very few weeks later, or a week or two later, it was the first of the month. Hers took management. I'm only at this time I'm super sick, so I'm not really doing events and stuff anymore because I can't, physically I just can't make products. I can't sell products because I'm just too sick. She know this. And so they repo the car. My social security check come. The same day my social security check came, Hertz took $2,800 out of my account. My account went into negative, and with the checking, they transferred it bounce up. So the few $5 I might have had in my savings, they took that, and I was still in a negative in my account, and I couldn't pay my rent. And I couldn't catch up. And the next month, I'm studying saying, you need to book me. I'm still trying to get booked for gigs and barely can stand, and she wouldn't do that. And then I couldn't give her anything. Then I started to see her find another culprit. She met this guy. She started using him for money. And the more she started using him and the less money I had, she became very short with me. She became very, her attitude changed because I wasn't her, I wasn't her money thing anymore. And and then when I realized that, I just started saying no for a lot of stuff. I started not accepting a lot of behaviors that I had let pass. And I fault myself for it too, giving her too much and then she'll fuck up. She actually lost my MacBook for the episode. The episodes got sabotaged. So the season 2, I don't even have. She said the draft crashed, but I believe she deleted them. I had a show that I was supposed to do. She put the wrong date on the invites. And so we're there with the show. I didn't pay for the space and everything else. And nobody shows up. I'm like, why nobody here? I'm like, I bet you didn't see this era, And just thing after thing after thing. And then I started to see her look at me different, treat me different. And I'm like, this girl don't fucking like me. This girl doesn't like me. And so no became an all the time thing. No, you can't see my car. No this. And she became, when she ended up getting a rental car, and when she got the rental car, she didn't need me for the rides and stuff anymore. She barely answered the phone. She had sabotaged the episodes, the computer and everything. So I sent her a message to express how, I felt about everything she had done to me. She literally sent me back, okay. This is a lady who I helped her and her children. I have bought them more stuff in this last few years than I bought myself. Everything in her house, I bought for her, from her furniture to her kitchen stove. 80% of everything in her house was from either I gave her or I bought for her. And to see her treat me the way she did, it was horrible. And a couple of days later, I ended up going in the hospital. I actually called her to try to give me a ride, and she didn't ever answer. And I ended up getting in the hospital. She never called. She never said nothing. She actually just stopped talking to me. So there wasn't anything. She couldn't say anything on internet because people would be like, no, motherfucker, we know how Angie loved you and rolled for you and bought you and paid for you. Nobody will believe it. So in hindsight, she still got all the pictures that in her mind, she never said anything about it because then she'd have to look at how fucked up she was in that situation. She still got everything on her page, the podcast, all that stuff.
Wow. And I find that we both did similar things like that. The difference is last year, I know, Angie, you heard about the brick incident, right? Rhoda Osmond lying about being assaulted by a man with a brick. Okay. So when I started jumping onto that case, which was day 1, it brought fake Black women in my circle too. And for the first time in 9 years, I let my guard all the way down because these were older women and I thought they came with class and poise. The whole time these women were plotting to try to take me down. And they might change the narrative, but I got the receipts. When I started, becoming bigger on these platforms with the Rhoda case, with my phone calls and things like that, these women hopped into my inboxes like groupies. Hey, sis, and I want you to use your services with me, and I want to be your friend. They came at me with so much persistence. They continue. Oh, here's my phone number, sis. And they come out here and tell people a different story. But I have the true story. And eventually I will go at it with the several individuals who lied on my name. But when I let these women into my circle, immediately I gave them access to my life. Let them moderate my page, even bringing them on to shows with me with other celebrities without really knowing them. See, they didn't talk about that. What they talked about is when I found out they were fake ass women and I had to boot them. And then they go online and start doing a smear campaign of my name. And they've been doing this for almost a year and they failed. at trying to take me out. These women have tried their best to try, to get false narratives out there to get people to turn against me, and it hasn't worked. So now they're going as deep as to say I stalk kids, I'm a predator, I'm a criminal on the run. This is how deep these Black women are going to try to destroy my credibility, even try to take my celebrity friends from me, but they forget that these people know me. Y'all don't know me. So the same thing you went through, I went through too. It's just that I let these people have access after knowing me for a few days. That's how low I let my guard down, which I will never do again. I trusted Black women who were older. I'm talking about menopause age, and they disrespected me the worst. And they tried to flip the narrative. Now all these people are in one big pack trying to take me down, and it's just me by myself. So Angie, like I said, I know the fight that you go through. What I'm going through, it would never compare to what you're going through.
I want to touch on something you just said.
Go ahead, Queen. Go ahead.
For you and how much hate and hurt that people will cause. I haven't shared this with anybody. I was actually going to do a video about this. And this is from Black men. These two instances were from Black men. There were some Chicago comedians or content creators that I was working with. And I used to go to support their events every week. Now, true, I would go there to also, try to sell products and stuff like that. But I never sold as much as it was. It was merely me trying to support people from being in my same neighborhood and stuff like that. And one night we was at the comedy show. And of course, at least a couple of them, more than all of them, have made a pass at me or said something, in a sexual manner, which is cool. I get it. They're men, right? Well, I didn't know how insulted that a couple of them were. One comedian got up there, and I'll actually, I'm going to say his name. His name is Mr. Barry, the comedian. Something like that. I have to find it. We'll put it in the corrections when you do your thing. He literally got up there and said, she's talking about she got cancer. She ain't got no fucking cancer. He made about half of his set was about insulting me and my cancer, to the point that the room got quiet and they had to say, cut it. The person whose show it was actually came over and apologized to me because he felt bad of how the man made a mockery of me and ridiculed me. And I'm sitting in the front. It's like they put the people who popular in the front. I'm sitting in the front. So to be in the front and be embarrassed like that. And the crazy part was that night I was sick. I could barely get up, but I didn't have no money. And this was when, I was, trying to catch up and knowing I needed to move and all of that. So I'm doing anything trying to make some money. So I went to try to make some money, but it took me about an hour to even get up to get there. I was in so much pain. I was so sick. And I went there just to try to make a little money to to pay, to find me a place to live. And instead I ended up getting insulted, and it was embarrassing. I left after that. I never went back to their shows after that. It was a hurtful thing. And there was another guy. I had somebody, an old friend of mine, call me and say that this one guy, he said he called me. He found out that I had, dated this guy and prior was, and it's like, I'm on my pussy power stuff. And they want to tear me down saying, she not all of that. She, y'all think she is this and the third. He called a friend of mine and faked and said, I had AIDS. I'm telling people it's cancer, and in hindsight, I have AIDS. He said, yeah, Angie, she got AIDS and she gave it to me. I'm just calling to let you know, because I know you slept with her. He like, bro, you could, and I'm like to myself, y'all so busy trying to tear me down. That's the only person you can find. I haven't slept with this man in over 10 years for one. Me and him still have a great relationship. I know his, family. We just have a great relationship. There's no way he would have fed into that, And you just don't know who people know, Stuff like that can get people killed. You don't call a man and tell him that I'm not really having cancer. I got AIDS. You know how hurtful it was? This was also somebody who I had went to events and supported, had on my podcast at one point, and to have them call and tell people that I had AIDS. I'm losing weight because I'm down. Let me say that. I'm losing weight because I'm living with cancer. And to hear men say, she ain't no good, she ain't all that, y'all think she fine? She got AIDS. And what was that supposed to do? Get men to stop talking to me, be unattracted to me? I mean, I just didn't get why somebody would say something so hurtful without even knowing me, really, you know? So the manner in which, at the extent that people go for their hate
Right.
or for their own things, like really it was an ego thing. You mad because I wouldn't talk to you when you're not my type. You just can't ride the ride. The pussy is powerful and it ain't for you, and that's not a time for you to say, in my weakness when I'm sick. She had AIDS, y'all. She ain't got no cancer. Stop feeling sorry for her. She got AIDS. Because they don't want people to feel sorry for me for cancer. They want to say, don't look at her as a cancer patient. She has AIDS and she around giving it to people.
Wow. Wow. Those sound like two idiots to me. And I've had men, and to be honest, I've had men come at me too. But they were enlisted by other women. I've had men do videos about me where they spoke about the dynamics of my relationship with my mother, and they didn't know shit about me or my mother, where their followers had to tell them her mom is dead. And then he says, oh, and that's what I had to deal with. And I thought, for these black men to allow a black woman or black women to control their brains, where they're going online and risking their livelihoods by lying on me, it's sad, but they did that. This is the lengths that they were willing to go to try to destroy me online. Now, I've had people tell me, oh, I'm going to work hard to get you offline. I've even showed people how I took down a group, but it took someone sending me the group. The final straws when they started posting personal things about my life, like my mother and things like that. So 36,000 people. And when people say, well, how does it work? Look what's going on now. You have these black women out there enlisting other black women. And Angie, it's gotten to the point where if I do go on, let's say, a public forum, I still have to blur out the person's name, because what my haters are doing, anyone's name that I do show out loud, these women are jumping into their inbox and telling them, hey, this is where Daphne lives. This is her personal information. Do you want to help us with taking her down?
They better not send
Yes.
me shit. They better not send me shit.
And trust me, I'm letting you know that now, Angie, you may get something. Like I said, when I did a video, if anybody remembers Aaron the plumber, I had all his victims on my show. His victims were being sent my personal information. Aaron was sent my address. Rhoda Osmond was sent my address, all coming from the same black individual. So when I tell you guys that these black women will work overtime to try to get you off the air, but when I asked them why would they do that? They're saying, oh, it's not threatening, me sending her information to men and women. How is it not threatening when these people don't like me? So I want y'all to know that these women will work overtime to try to hurt people. It's not just men. On my end, Angie, it's majority women. I don't really have issues with men. And when I do, they were told by women to do those things. And these men have no brains. But most men that I know, they're alpha males. If anybody knows who MTR, O'Shea Dukes, Aber and Preach, all these men were told not to fuck with me. But in return, those people saying it, they lost their moderator capabilities because they saw the facts. When you sit up here, ladies, and you talk about people every single day and you're saying you're a victim, you're not a victim. You're a villain. And people start to see that. And what I won't allow is for people to think that you're going to get away with hurting people. Angie is innocent. And I went to her comments and saw people saying, why does she got her titties out? And the things that she's telling you, I saw. And I said, wow, y'all not even listening to the message. But they don't get mad when women are breastfeeding in public. I've seen women whip out their titty and do a Facebook post saying,
everybody be at the club naked.
Right. This is normal. But when Angie's showing people the behind the scenes of what she's going through in the hospital, that's a problem. But anytime someone creates a fake, GoFundMe telling you, oh, I was almost kidnapped by a Lyft driver, you guys are donating to these liars without any evidence. But Angie's sitting up here giving you guys all the unfiltered video of what she's really going through. I didn't know she showed her boob. When I saw it, I got so scared. I'm like, oh, I can't let YouTube see this. I'll lose my account. But it's her showing people that this fight is ugly. She's not going to show you all the beautiful parts about it. She wants you to see the ugly parts too. That's why I'm swarming a lot.
The real women who have cancer, it's almost like even them. I have women who have cancer that say to me, oh, I just don't see how you do that, how you share so much. I couldn't, well, bitch, you can't. I can. That's you. You want to live in sorrow in the corner in the closet and die? That's your business. It's not how I want to fight my fight. I have women who with cancer like, yeah, you know, I think sometimes you be saying too much. You know, you share too much. And I'm like, what? That's the problem. We don't share enough. We don't bring awareness to the beauty, the ugly side, the real side. You know, the can't eat, the can't taste, the real side. All y'all want to show for y'all cancer fight is, hey, look at me, ring the bell, ding, ding, ding. Show the real shit. Show when you throwing up in the middle of the night. Show when you can't get up. Show when you can't walk.
Mm.
You know, show your breast. It ain't got no, and they be saying, listen, I don't have breasts, y'all. I got a implant, want some skin. You know, show that you don't have a nipple because you don't love it and you don't embrace it. I have embraced everything that comes with this. Not having a nipple, not having breasts, not having nothing. Even now, you see this big, they don't even look that big right here, but you see that? I dressed this and I put this on. I just look and it's actually went down. When it was sticking out, bulging out, I still put on my clothes and look good and walk right out with it. You know, it's part of my accessory.
Wow. So Angie, what would you say to those people out there that are fueled with hate? And let's say they have their health. They are blessed enough every day to be healthy. What would be your advice to them?
I'm going to show you. I'll be right back.
Okay. Guys, I want to say again, guys, thank you so much for listening. It looks like we've reached 502 listeners, 503. It's going up. But guys, listen, Angie is someone that you guys should definitely follow. Oh, wow.
The mirror.
I heard that.
The mirror. When you say, look at her, you need to say, damn, that's me. What is it in me that makes me want to project this? What is it in me that can't find, you know, light in this? What is it in me that makes me want to hurt somebody who's already hurting? You got to look at yourself. I say to people, look at yourself. I can't, the mirror. I give it to people all the time in the mirror. Do you know me? I be writing them comments, clapping back. No. The problem is I went to your page and the problem is it looks like you don't like yourself. How I know? Because all your pictures is face up. And that's why you keep attacking my body and my booty and my titties. Like yours. Okay. And for people, every time whatever they say about me is a lot of the times their own insecurities about themselves. How about it is? You ain't got no interest. You just mad that I can put this little slick down on and look like a motherfucking 10 and you put on a wig and you still don't look like a 3.
And Angie, I noticed that a lot with Black women. They love to attack looks. I've had Black women take pictures of me and sabotage them to make me look like I'm just an ugly individual. But I look at the individual that's sharing it and I'm like, I really can't be offended because they're not even a one, in my opinion. And I've never seen an attractive woman like you or, a lot of the women in the comments, Cheryl, beautiful women. I've never had beautiful women tell me that I was ugly. It's always ugly women themselves. And when I look at them,
women who are, they can be, some beautiful women will if they don't like
I haven't had that yet, because they'll say that they don't like me or they don't like something I post, but I just never been insulted by a woman that to me is visually beautiful. Like someone like you. That's what I'm trying to say. The women that are talking about my looks, I've seen what they look like unfiltered. And I'm like, I can't even get offended because it's that mirror. They're looking at themselves, but they want to see that in me. But that's not going to work. Like I said, Angie, I think what you're going through, for me, it's scary. But for you, you are incredibly strong. And it's people like you that make it easier for other people. I know a lot of my friends right now are going through this. One of my good friends from high school has cervical cancer. She has to go back and have surgery. I have a lot of friends who have either beat cancer or they're going through it. And I've noticed, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but lately over the last few years, they said cancer cases have soared 60%. Something is out there.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I had to bring that up because every time I look up, somebody has cancer or they die from it. I'm like, what? Where is this at? So I can avoid it. What is it? Just me, everybody? I'm looking at the comments. Yeah, but go ahead, dear. What do you have?
Share this with you.
Okay.
So one of these are my doctor's bills because I was going to do some videos about this as well. So I'm just going to show you why it's because cancer is a business. I went to the doctor and I have co-pays too. And
I had to get some tests and stuff ran. And from one doctor's bill was one day just for testing everything was $17,000.
What?
$17,000. $17,000. I have the bills and stuff to prove it.
And you said that cancer is now a business for these doctors, these hospitals.
Yes, this is one appointment. This is for one day, February 2nd. And I'll read off to you guys what I had done that day, and then I'll read off the total amount. A complete blood cell count, an x-ray of the chest, 2 different views, diagnostics for the digital breast, diagnostics mammogram, limited ultrasound, emergency department visit, high level. Now they have emergency room department visit regular, and mine is considered high level medical decisions because I have cancer. They immediately want to get me to the back. I got that insurance too. And so one night in the emergency room cost me $7,936.
Wow. Wow.
And I have a copay. And I have a copay for it.
You know, a lot of people said that too. And I think that's why a lot of people are scared to also go to the hospital or go to the doctor, because they feel good. And then you go into the doctor, you go in there for, sniffles, and they tell you got something crazy. And, and even in a few years ago, there was a doctor who was telling people they had cancer and giving them chemo and all that, and they didn't have it. So I know there's a lot of fears, especially in our Black community. I think it was Yellow Tea Rose. You're right. She said it could be the chemicals in the food. Something is going on. A lot of people are blaming it on the COVID shots. Now, look, as a person, I'm going to be honest. I never got the jab. Now, me or my husband, I mean, it was even a lot of my partners told me if I didn't get it, they would, end the partnership. I said, go and end it, because I never even had a flu shot in my life. And by the grace of God, me or my siblings, none of us ever got the flu. So I don't believe in putting poison in my body if I don't need to. But I know people that got the flu shot, they get the flu like 2-3 times a year. And then they ask me why I get sick once or twice every few years, because I don't know. I can't tell y'all why, but I know that a lot of people have their own theories. But I can honestly say a lot of my personal friends I went to college with or high school with, they have cancer. And it blows me. A lot of them are very healthy, runners, vegans, they don't eat nothing with, this and that in it. And yet they have it. And here I am. I eat meat. I eat all the things that they don't eat, and I'm fine. So I can't attest to anyone else's journey. What I can tell you guys is that it's real. And like I was telling you, Angie, there's a few people in my life where their death, it really hit me hard. And even to this day, I'm still upset, because these were people who were giving back to the community, people that cared about other people. They weren't online stalking and harassing and being the idiots that they are. Mm-hmm. Or and something else I noticed too, Angie, one thing you said is that you really don't have any regrets about your past. I've talked about my past before with people, how I had a run-in with individuals just 9 years ago. And now these individuals are threatening me. Oh, say something so I can post your pictures. I want them to hear this out loud. Post it. Not scared. I don't never, back down from things that I went through in my life. But I don't work well with threats. Just do it. Do it. Like Nike, just do it. Because I know you're not going to do it. Because you and I both know the consequences if you do something dumb like that. So I wanted to address my haters as well and tell them, you're not going to get me to stop doing what I do. You're not in control over me at all. You can keep trying and enlisting people, but I'm going to keep doing what I do. And you're going to keep suffering while I keep progressing and thriving. And you're going to have to be sick watching me do that. But what you're not going to do is try to say that I don't care about people when you're not doing shit at all, but talking about me. Angie is somebody that is going to tell her like it is, and she's not letting cancer define her. I wanted people to hear this from another Black woman, because they tend to think that I hate Black women, and I don't. But I wanted to talk about 3 people in my life who their death really hit me, and it was cancer. And then Miss Angie, I'm going to share your GoFundMe, and then we can wrap up. So I wanted to just share, because I wanted y'all to see their faces. These are 3 people. 2 of them I knew personally, but you guys know about Alicia Nelson, who passed away in February of this year. And she left behind 4 beautiful kids. And I want to tell y'all something that still upsets me to this day. And I'm not going to cry on this one, but You guys know how when Alicia initially tried to get her GoFundMe out, she only raised $900. Her family reached out to me and said, "We love what you do." And mind you, this is a Black family reaching out to me saying, "Can you please help us get, our cousin, our sister, our family, get her GoFundMe out there?" Because other pages were trying to charge this Black woman a lot of money just to share her GoFundMe. They didn't care she was dying. They didn't care she had 4 beautiful kids. I told them no problem. When I did share that GoFundMe, and the next few days it went viral. And then Sean King and all these people that told her no before, they then said, "You know what? Yeah, let's share it." And Alicia's GoFundMe went from 900 to, I believe, $750,000.
That's amazing.
Alicia told me on several occasions she loved me. I want you all to know I didn't know Alicia that long, but we had many, many, many talks on the phone. I showed her how a lot of Black women hated me, and she had more sympathy for me. And I didn't understand why when she was the one that was going through a fight. But she did tell me about specifics of people and why they do what they do. What hurt me the most is one of my biggest haters who hates my guts. After Alicia passed, this idiot makes a tribute to her and her kids, like she knew her, not even knowing that she didn't even like her like that. And it was to make me upset. And it did make me upset. Even her family was like, "Whoa, we all know that I already told Alicia about this individual, and here she is acting like she fucking cares." That's how dangerous and evil these Black women are.
Yeah, they do.
She never even donated or shared the woman's page when she was alive. But when she died, she wrote this 3-paragraph essay, like the fraud she was. And that bothered me because I said, wow, these people are, they're insane. And it bothered me. And when I saw that she wasn't even following this woman on social media, that really told me a lot about how these Black women will sit up there and do things like that, making you think that they actually care. And people were telling her, "We're sorry for your loss." Huh?
Man.
So yeah, Angie, it bothered me a lot. And her family was just like, "Who is this creature?" And I told them, she didn't even like this woman's ways. I'm not going to say she didn't like her. She didn't like her ways. So when this woman was sharing her from her account, it bothered me because I'm like, you never donated and you never spoke about her once when she was alive. So how dare you post her when she dies? But that's how people are. Am I right, Angie?
Probably never reached. I had a cousin who, when you get popular and stuff, people don't like you. He literally sent me a message and it said this verbatim: "Damn, cuz, I never, I see your posts and stuff all the time, and I just scroll right through, you talking shit or whatever. But now that I see, everybody fucking with you in the city fucking with you, I'm gonna start liking your shit and share the post." I said, "Do you did he think that was appropriate to say, or that I was gonna be like, yeah, thanks, cuz?" No, fuck you. You basically saying I didn't like your shit, but since every time I go on the internet, I see your face, and every time I go somewhere, somebody's talking about you, I'm gonna ride the wave. And that's what people. That's my own cousin. Wow. That's my own cousin. Saying, I didn't like your shit, but I see every time I go somewhere, somebody asks me about you because they know we're related. Or every time I get on the internet, he literally said, every time I get on the internet, I see your face. So now I guess since everybody rocking with you, I'll go ahead and follow the wave. I was like, man, that's some fucked up shit. You can't like yourself either.
That's how they do it. That's how family is. And I learned that, your family is going to be your biggest haters. They don't want to see you do well. My family, I had a lot of family I had to block because they didn't like what I was doing online. "So you don't like baby mamas? You have a problem with people with kids?" And I'm like, where are you getting that from? And y'all know I worked for the state for years. I won many awards. See, what people don't like is that I have the intellect. And one thing that Michelle Obama said is that one thing that, and it's sad that we hate the most, is somebody's success. Michelle Obama is an educated Black woman. Me being an educated Black woman with 4 degrees, and people say, "Oh, she don't have them," but they can't show you that I don't have them. See, they just want me to say, "Yes, I do. Here you go." I don't show people everything because I don't need to. I know what I got. But let me share these 3 people real quick here. So this is my friend Tyke Patterson, who passed away from cancer. And this man did a lot in Arizona for the community. You can actually Google Tyke Patterson in Arizona. They actually donated a street to him, and he passed away. And he was this strong, big guy, and it took him. And this is my friend Shantoya, who I grew up with.
Beautiful.
He also passed away from cancer and left behind 4 kids. her death hurt me because we grew up together. We were like sisters. And yeah, it happened so fast. And she was a mother, and she's no longer here. And she passed from breast cancer. So this one hurt me as well. And then here's Alicia Nelson, another beautiful friend of mine who I didn't know long, but this woman told me she loved me on many occasions, and she left behind 4 beautiful kids who are now well taken care of. So I just wanted y'all to see that it doesn't discriminate, you know, and 1 minute you could be happy and healthy, and the next minute you're not here. So, and all three of these individuals, okay? You sure? You okay?
Yes, all the time. It's my new normal.
Okay. Well, you know, I got your back. And like I told you, I want to make sure you know, Angie, that, you know, those 3 people who passed, and those it's just a fraction. I could go all day with people that have it or, you know, or had it. But one thing that I learned is that I did not call them enough. I did not check on them enough. And because they were in a whole nother state, it hurt me. And I remember when I spoke to my friend Taiki, I asked him, I said, man, like, you're always in the gym. You're doing this and doing that. Yeah. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter how healthy you are. Or it could be hereditary. It could be anything. But these are 3 beautiful people that it affected me hard, and it still does, even talking about it. Cancer doesn't care if you have kids or a family or a following. They don't care. It doesn't care.
A job. It don't nothing.
It does not care. Like you told me, Angie, you said you got evicted while you were in the hospital. Is that true?
Yeah.
See, people don't care what's going on in your personal life. And this is why I'm trying to bring awareness that we have to come together better than what we're doing. And coming together doesn't mean that I'm going to ignore you doing wrong. I'm still going to hold your ass accountable. But I also want to talk about things like this where we can do a lot to uplift each other. A lot of you guys will donate to a GoFundMe of a liar quicker than you will someone telling the truth. That's the problem in our community. We think everything is a lie. But you guys know I'm first to call out a fake GoFundMe account. Angie is solid. She's real. And if you want to donate to her, I want to give her the opportunity to get help in any way she can get it. Because at the end of the day, guys, we don't know when God is going to say, that's it. I'm coming. And if he was to take you today, do you think you left a great legacy? I know people are not going to like what I did, but I know that there's a lot of people that love what I do. I know how many people I've saved, how many lives I've saved. I don't have to tell you that, but you'll hear about it. But at the end of the day, guys, what legacy are you leaving behind? That's the biggest thing. And if you guys want to believe idiots online who think that I'm some criminal, guys, y'all see me, I'm always in court. I'm always talking to the police. I'm still here. I'm not running from nobody. So stop believing these idiots because they don't have a life. But let me tell you, the life we have, it is up to us to take advantage of what God has given us. Or you could be a hateful, old, bitter hag, and you could just wait for your time to come. But if anybody is learning anything from Angie, I would choose to value what God gives me every day and say thank you for it. Because I couldn't imagine going through what this woman is going through and being visual with it when I know the world is hateful, right? Angie's giving you guys all of what's coming with this. And she's fighting. That's why I think I really like what she does. Angie, are you currently, you're not in the hospital right now, right? You're at a location.
I just got out the hospital 2 days ago. 3 days.
And you don't have to go back anytime soon, do you?
Actually, I have radiation Thursday. So yeah, I'm at the hospital more than I feel like. Sometimes I'm at home. I was in the hospital for about 5 days. This last cinch, I think 4 days. I went in Sunday, came out Wednesday. Wednesday. So I've been out for a few days now, and I got to go back for radiation. I got 3 doctor's appointments. That was another thing. They was scheduling me doctor's appointments a Monday or Wednesday or Thursday. I told the people, I can't keep coming here like this. It costs $20 a park. I got to pay for gas. This is expensive. I got my co-pays. I told them I counted up. I told them I spend $300 a month on parking. That's not in my budget. I still got to pay rent. I got to buy food. Stuff like this.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. So wait, you take yourself to your appointments? I thought you had a team in place.
I didn't say I had a team in place. I said, since the video, I get a little help.
Okay, so Thursday, you're planning on taking yourself to your appointment and paying for parking and all that stuff again.
I've complained with the director of the hospital. So they give me 2 parking passes a month now. So I got to email her on Monday and let her know I think I'm allotted another parking pass for this month. I had them condense all of my appointments in one day. So I have a 9 o'clock appointment, a 10 o'clock appointment, 11 o'clock appointment, and then a follow-up at 1:30, which is a lot, but I'd rather do everything in one day. I got radiation at 10:30. Then I got the appointment with my oncologist at like 1. But I'd rather do it all in one day so that way I don't have to pay for parking. So I'm just trying to figure it out.
Okay. Well, it sounds like I'm going to be seeing you on Thursday, because I'm definitely not going to let you have to spend any money if you don't need to. So if you can let me know your schedule, I'm going to make sure I clear my schedule on Thursday, and I'm going to be the one taking you to every fucking appointment. I'm going to make sure you're being treated correctly. I'm not playing no games either, Angie. So you got my number. Let me know where I need to be, and I will come pick you up so you don't have to pay for it, and I'll come back and get you, if that's okay with you.
I would like that. That's okay.
Yeah, it's my girl. Hey.
Yeah.
I like to. Now, I'm going to tell you, I like to sing. I like to act the fool. So you're going to be a part of that craziness, okay?
I had to get a procedure done 2 weeks ago. And I had asked somebody.
Can y'all hear her? I can't hear you, Queen.
Can you hear me now?
Can y'all hear? I don't know why I can't hear you all of a sudden.
It's not muted. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Can you guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know why I can't hear you.
I don't know.
Hold on. Let me see what happened. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I think somebody tried to call me, guys. Y'all can hear me, but I can't hear Angie. So hold on 1 second. Okay, hold on, Angie, speak.
Can you hear me now?
What the heck? I still can't hear you. Okay, hold on. Let me see what's going on. See how YouTube does me? This is what YouTube does to me. Hold on 1 second.
Cheryl, she says she can hear both of us.
Okay, now I can hear you, Queen. Now I can hear you. Okay, go ahead, Queen. Sorry about that. Y'all could hear us, but I couldn't hear her, y'all. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Queen.
Even how people don't take it serious. Now, 2 weeks ago, I have some help, but not, 100%, which I'm still appreciative for. And I have one breastie who has just been showing up and showing out for me. She actually, this last time I was in the hospital, I told her, she checks on me almost every day now. I told her I wasn't feeling well. I said, I'm getting ready to go to the hospital. She said, don't drive yourself, Angie. I'm going to come. She dropped what she was doing. She stayed with me till I got took in the back. But 2 weeks ago, I had a procedure and I had to go under like local anesthetic. And I had asked somebody, they was unavailable. And I know people got their lives. And then the other person I asked, they wasn't available either, working or something of that nature. And I had to drive myself to an appointment where I was, under local anesthetic. And then, you sit in the car, you cry because you're like, God damn, can people just be more active and more supportive? Had to sit in a, parking lot for a little while, take my medicine and wait till I could feel a little bit better to continue to drive myself home. And sometimes it can get to you, can weigh on you.
And even though it is weighing on you, you are, like I said, you are incredibly strong. And like I said, Angie, you have a sister here now. And sometimes it takes us to hear someone else's story to appreciate what God has given us. I think a lot of us think that we don't have enough, and we do. And we hear one thing my dad used to tell me is there are people out there going through worse than you. You have, 10 haters on you. There's people with 100 haters on them, and they're managing it. So we have to remember that there's someone always doing worse than we are, and we have to appreciate what we have right now in this space. Girl, look, and she ain't hiding that cough, girl. Let it out.
I want people to see, the real. You see how when I cough and eating stuff out,
it moves. Yeah,
I see it. It's not an easy thing.
It's not. And I love how you are raw about what you're going through. You're not going to sugarcoat anything. So again, if I can do something to lighten up your load and make sure you're okay, I want to do that for you. And I want to let you know, Angie, when I do things, I don't like to post what I do. So whatever we do on Thursday, it's going to be between us. I'm not one to like to spread it online. That's not the way I was raised. So a lot of people think because they don't see it, it's not happening. But you will know. and I will know. And that's all that matters. So I just want to let you know, I don't do things for recognition. I don't even like when people say I did things for them, because that's not why I did it. I did it because that's what we're supposed to do. And like I said, woman to woman, I love you, girl. And I want to make sure you know you are protected, you're prayed for. And I've already reached out to several people, because it's Sunday. I have to wait to get responses on Monday. And I'm going to put some things in the works, because I want to make sure that we're fighting together. You're not going to be in this fight alone anymore. And anytime you're in a 911 situation, I hope that you can trust me enough to call me. And I know I might live far from you, but I'm just a drive away. And by the grace of God, me and my husband both have our own vehicle. So there's no excuse on my end. I just need you to let me know what you need. And if I can do it, I'm going to do it. So I just want you to know you do have a new sister. So guys, I want to share her GoFundMe with you guys, so you guys can, take a picture of it. This is her GoFundMe. I did put the link in the chat. If you guys did get the pinned comment, it's the first one. Once you click on that link, it'll take you right there. Now, I'm not telling you guys to pay the entire bill, what she's asking for, but $5, giving whatever you can, it's a blessing. It's better than nothing at all. I know I sent this live stream to a lot of my personal friends who are celebrities, and I'm hoping that they can also come together and help this woman. I know there's a lot of people going through this too. There's a lot of people that are going through sicknesses, illnesses. I get it. But guys, listen, it's not every day that we get to actually speak to them and ask them about their mental health, their space. We have to continue to pray. You're good, Queen. I'm showing them your GoFundMe so they don't see you coughing. But guys, if you can, donate what you can. What you can. I'm not telling you guys to put your rent on hold and all that. What I'm saying is, a lot of you guys donated to GoFundMes this year that were probably not being honest. But this woman is being very honest. And she's not asking for much. She really isn't. Even though she does have insurance, it doesn't cover everything 100%. We all know that. No matter how great your insurance is, you're still going to have some type of out of pocket. You're still going to have to pay for your own, maybe a copay for medications. All of that can become a lot.
May I say something, Daphne?
Yes, you can.
So when I created the GoFundMe, I'm very humble, so I usually don't ask for things. But when I get all of these are bills. All of this is medical bills. And I have a copay for every bill, and which is crazy because they know I'm on a fixed income because I have Medicare, because I receive my disability or whatever that is. And still to send every month $200, $300, $400 copay when I'm only getting, a totality of income of $1,300 a month. And, I created the GoFundMe because I had an incident where my implant ruptured. And so right now the implant is leaking. So there's the fluid in my breast. And when I I need to get it fixed because of course it causes other problems. The insurance would not cover it. They saying it's cosmetic. I'm saying, but I had the mastectomy due to cancer. Even when I had the mastectomy, they didn't cover it. I had to pay $19,000. And the only reason is the amount is so cheap is because I'm going through my same doctor, and he's amazing. Dr. Sino in Chicago on Michigan Avenue. He is discounting the surgery for me at a phenomenal price because he wants to help. I'm applying for grants. Unfortunately, when I applied for the grants when it first happened, couldn't get grants. And this is something people don't know. When you apply for grants and rental assistance and all those things, one of the first questions they ask you, are you in active treatment? And because I'm on palliative care, meaning only pain meds, they don't consider that active treatment. I had to, if I'm not on chemo or radiation, I don't qualify for 80 to 90% of grants, funding, rental assistance, help. They only help you if you're going through the motions to make you sicker, which I hate that. So in hindsight, if I'm not on chemo, I can't get help. I can only get help if I'm doing something to sicken myself or worsen myself. So the money is going to my copays, to get the breast reconstruction surgery, just replace the implant that is leaking. And of course, for additional things, I get my lymphatic massages because now the cancer has moved through my lymph nodes, which means have the ability to travel anywhere through my body. So I get the lymphatic massages. They are expensive. They're like $100 per treatment. On a $1,400 month income, I still got to pay rent, got to buy food, don't qualify for food stamps because I get Social Security. So they cut my food stamps off. And I got to do all of that with minimal. So I found myself driving Uber, even when I don't have the best help too, working, selling products, selling my books, just to be able to, just live minimal. So, I thank everybody for watching, and anybody who donates. It goes a long way. I appreciate it, whether it's $1, 50 cents, it's all appreciated. Prayers are just as much as appreciated as any donation, support, liking, sharing, all of it.
Amen. And I want to say shout out to Miss Paradise. She actually did donate $50 so far to your Thank you so much, Queen, for that. Like I said, I know a lot of people say, well, man, she got all this stuff going on. She could do it. And you're gonna have the bitter party, but I'm going to make sure I send this to as many people as I can so we can get you close to the goal. Like I said, Angie, you're gonna be getting some phone calls this week from other places too, because I've been reaching out on your behalf with your permission, of course, because I want to make sure that you get all the help that you need to help you on this fight, because we're gonna fight it together. Someone said in the comments that
excuse me.
No, I definitely understand. Someone said in the comments that someone was battling stage 4 and it went down to stage 2. So what I'm saying is the doctors can say whatever they want, but what the ultimate doctor is the Father in heaven. So prayers is wonderful. Prayers is incredibly wonderful. But even if you guys don't have anything to give, share the GoFundMe with someone else. You never know who might have $5 or more to give. If everybody that followed me donated $5, she'll be well over her goal. So what I'm saying, guys, is I want to make sure this woman is okay. We've did it before with my friend Alicia. We've did it before with other GoFundMes when I confirmed that it was a real GoFundMe. But this is a real GoFundMe. It's been out for 2 months and she's only reached $1,100. But I've seen that woman lie about being kidnapped by a Lyft driver, and she raises almost $4,000 in 19 hours. So there is a discrepancy with these women and who they give to. Like, you don't see Angie crying and showing you all this bad stuff on every video she does. She's had her GoFundMe up and she hardly shows it. It's in her link. You got to go and find it. She doesn't even promote it. And it's been up for 2 months. So it is now on my Instagram. So if you guys need help getting to it, I am going to be promoting Angie on my Instagram as well, because I want to make sure we help this woman. She needs all of us, guys. We have to keep fighting for our own, because nobody else will, especially doctors. We know that in the Black communities, it's hard for us to convince doctors that we're in pain, that we're hurting, and we have to speak up for people. So at the same time, guys, we have to encourage people. Let's not always follow the folly and the negative stuff I post. When I said verses, y'all thought I was going to go in on Angie. No, I just wanted to get y'all attention, because cancer to me is more serious than anything I've ever did on this show. I honestly think it is. And I'm going to keep talking about it until we reach this woman's goal, because I really do care about Angie. I don't have to know her personally to tell her I love her. She's a sister in my book. And we're not going to let this woman stress. You're fine. We're not going to let this woman continue to stress over how she's going to pay her bills. As you guys know, she's on a fixed income. So you have to understand that she's not going to be able to afford everything. And she's very transparent with where the money is going. So if you guys need proof and all that, I'm sure Angie can provide that to you if you need further proof. But follow her on Instagram, neighborhood_hope_dealer, and you guys will see her whole journey. She doesn't hide anything. So let's not look at how nice her body is or how beautiful she looks. She is not letting cancer define her. Go ahead, honey. What'd you say?
Let's look at that, because the women who get that call and say they got cancer and they fear that they're going to be ugly, that they're going to lose their hair, that you can do that. But you can be this too. I have a non-for-profit. I like to do beautifying things for women. I give out care packages. I take part of my money that I give, my personal money, I give back a lot of the times more than I receive. So you do look at the beauty in the cancer. Do look at the face and say, man, I saw this girl, Angie. You see your sister and you're like, no, you can get through this. You can do this. You can look good. You ain't got to be like that. Do look at that and say, it's different. Don't have to be like that. It can be this. Can look good. It's all about perspective, perception, and the way you choose to live and fight.
That's right. That's right. Shout out to OMG Entertainer. He
Thank you.
donated. Nicole Johnson, she donated. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I'm gonna go ahead and, and show it one more time so you guys can see it. This is what the GoFundMe looks like. The link is in the chat. It's pinned. Guys, please do what you can. I want you guys to know that even though this beautiful woman is fighting, she is beautiful. She's not letting this disease take her. She's fighting, and I'm proud of her. I really am. And we have to do more to help each other out. And this was one of her pictures that she had on her Instagram. And I said, this woman is absolutely stunning. Y'all see, she's not letting it define her. But people see this and say, she doesn't have cancer. She looks well. Well, guys, who are you to talk about what someone's supposed to look like? Who are you guys?
The next day after that picture.
What'd you say?
I was sick when I took that picture. I was sick. And I said, I'm so sick. I didn't feel well. And I said, I was going out to take myself out to dinner. And the next morning, I was in so much pain. I went to the hospital the day after that picture.
Wow. And see, nobody would never know that, right? Because it's not our business to know everything about the dynamics of your cancer. We know that the woman from 90210, Shannon Dorothy, I think I said her name right. You know, she battled it for a bunch of years, a long time. And she's a millionaire. And she finally succumbed. And I remember her saying, I'm not scared of dying. I just don't want to die. She said, but only people that are scared of dying are those who know that they're leaving a legacy of hate. You know, they did something bad in their life. They didn't settle all their debts. They have issues with people. Those people should be scared. But if you know that you're a good-hearted person and you treated people well, and in treating people well, holding them accountable doesn't make you evil. You're actually telling someone, hey, that ain't right. Do it this way. Or, hey, change what you're doing. That's not wrong. So again, when she said that, I was like, man, I didn't look at it like that. She said, I'm not scared. I just don't want to. You know, so I thought with that message, it said a lot. It was loud and clear. So guys, listen, at the end of the day, we have to do better. And I know that my haters are going to hear this show and say she paid Angie to come on here and tell everybody that she's a good person and that blah, blah, blah. And she's going to act like she's going to pick her up on Thursday, but she's really not going to do it. That's what my haters are supposed to do. They're supposed to say that what I'm doing isn't true, but prove that I'm not doing it.
She on there crying, and I thought she was so sick. If she's sick, people will say, if you're so sick, then be sick. What you study on the internet, posting videos stuff with your titties out and shit if you're so sick. It's because that's what the fuck I want to do. You can't living. When I got sick, I had people call me. I told you about this just when we talked. I had people call me. This is not my voice. This obstructs my speech.
Right.
My speech is going to be damaged forever. You know, the doctors say there may be a possibility I may eventually lose my voice completely. And I said, well, this is the time to talk. I have family came to the hospital and said, well, people calling me, I hope, you're going to stop the pussy talk stuff now. I hope you're going to, stop doing the podcast and stuff. And I told them, no, I'm not. I'm actually going to do it until I can't talk no more. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm going to have some tea. I'm going to be coughing. My speech ain't the same, but I'm going to give it all I got. And even my voice get like that, I'm going to still talk. I'm going to talk until God takes my voice.
I heard that. And let me tell you, he might take it, but you got me. I can be loud for you. Tell me what you want me to say, and I'll cuss somebody out quick for you.
Write it down.
I got you back, girl. Write it down, and I'll be your voice. Shout out to Colby, who said he donated. Vincent Williams, he donated. Thank you so much. Sir Night Wolf said he donated, and his mother is currently going through the same thing. Sir Night Wolf, I am praying for your mother, man. I'm praying for her.
DHR, thank you for the prayers, love, and support.
Yeah, and DHR said, even though I can't donate, I give her my love and prayers. She is a strong woman. She got
a video.
DHR, shout out to you for that.
Video is free. I told him I got to do a share the video. It just goes just as much appreciated.
Yeah, guys, listen. When people say donate, even if you can't, because I'm not asking people to, put their bills on hold, but sharing it is free. It costs you $0 to share her link, right? You never know who's going to see it. Like I said, this show is also being streamed on my social media channels where I'm followed by a lot of people. And like I said, my goal is to make sure that we can make Angie's, fight less hard. I don't want this woman worried about parking and food. And these are things we shouldn't be worrying about. But unfortunately, the pharmaceutical company and the hospitals and doctors, this is how they get paid. This is how they roll up to the hospitals in their Ferraris and cyber trucks, right? So at the end of the day, guys, we have to take care of our own. And even giving $5 can help this woman. Because if everybody gave $5, she would exceed the goal. So what I'm saying, guys, is I want to make sure that we start giving back to people who need it, not these liars online. Okay. So with that being said, Angie, do you have anything else you want to say to anyone before I wrap up?
Yes. So many times we go through life walking on eggshells, waiting to die. This is a message to you to say it's never too late to start living. If you walked into a room and they told you were going to have a year to live, you start living. Take this as that message. Start living today. Live your way. And that's it. Just live your life. Don't let anything stop you from living.
Angie, you said that you have a book. How can people get access to your book? Is this something they can buy on through Amazon? How can we find it?
So this is the book. It's a poetry and affirmation book. I also have my self-care product line. I'm on Amazon. They can click the link in my bio. If you go to my stuff, the page is there. My website is Hood Hope Dealer, thehoodhopedealer.com. So the links are there. So if you have my platform, the links will be there. And I'm also on Amazon.
Wow. Okay. And you said on your page, it's all linked, right?
Yep. Everything is there.
Okay, guys, please make sure you follow her Instagram account. It is neighborhood_hope_dealer. Cheryl, can you put that in the chat so I can promote it again? This is the website that she was telling you about, thehoodhopedealer.com. Cheryl, can you do the Instagram again? Because it won't let me find that comment. Actually, no, you don't have to do it. I have it on the banner. Hold on, let me find it. I know I just put it on here. Here we go. Okay, so if you guys look at the ticker, that is her Instagram. If you go to Instagram, everything is linked. You'll be able to find everything you need on her page. If you guys have any questions for her, she is your DMs open, Miss Lady? If they have a question, if they want to donate, maybe like mail you something, a care package.
Absolutely.
They can DM you?
Absolutely. I do have an over fluctuation because I was just got out the hospital. So usually when I get out the hospital or do a video, it's kind of flooded by, posts. And I just got home. So I haven't took a mental space open because sometimes it's emotional. People sometimes I don't read them all the time because people forget that when you read them and people are asking questions about what's going on, you kind of relive the trauma. And sometimes you don't want to be in that space every day. So I take certain days to read those. Today will be a day, and I kind of space it out. But I do answer my messages. I do try to respond, especially when it's about the love and the support and the prayers. I am a person who will respond. So yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Queen. I do really, truly appreciate you. And like I said, you guys, we have to remember the things that matter in life. What matters is helping people and doing the best that you can to make someone's journey a lot easier for them to be on. We always say we support people, but saying it and not doing it doesn't work with me. It has to match. So again, guys, I want y'all to continue to keep this beautiful woman in your prayers because she will be on my future shows. I love her advice. She has a great podcast. This woman, she won't, lower herself for anybody. So if you don't like what she's doing, keep scrolling. But this woman is very powerful. And I just wanted you guys to see her journey because I think I've cried a few times after looking at her videos because then I realized, you know what? Going back and forth with these idiots, these old washed up hags online, it's just a waste of my energy and my health. I could be redirecting that and continuing to help the beautiful people that come in my path, like Angie. So again, I want to once more share her initial video that is on her Instagram. It is pinned. So what I'm showing you is not something I made up. This is Angie's video on her journey. And if you don't see it and feel some type of way, then maybe this show wasn't for you. But to anyone who has a family member who is going through cancer, I am praying for you. I know that this is not exclusive to just Angie. There's millions of people that just got diagnosed. There are millions of people who are on the verge of losing their life. I just want to hone in. It doesn't mean I'm not caring about those other people. Angie is just one of those stories that have really touched my heart. Not only mine, there's a couple people that I sent her story to, and they sent me back, I haven't cried this much in years. So she's affecting people in a great way because we forget the things that matter. So to my hateful and bitter people out there in the world, I hope that Angie taught you something. And Angie, I never got to ask you this. If you don't want me asking, Angie, how old are you?
39.
And you're young.
I got diagnosed 2 weeks before my 35th birthday. So my cancer anniversary is my birthday. Imagine that. Every time my birthday comes is I gotta go to the doctor and get checked and see what my cancer is. So my
When's your birthday?
January 29th.
So your birthday's January 29th. Wow.
So
Okay.
imagine you're getting ready, you're trying to celebrate your birthday, and for the last 3 birthdays, they weren't good because my cancer had spread tremendously. And so you want to celebrate yourself, but in hindsight, you got to go right into treating yourself, to being sick, so it's a journey. It is a journey.
I know it is, but we're going to be on it together. As much as I can help you, I'm going to help you. And like I said, it took me everything to not break down on the show because it bothers me how a lot of people choose to use their health to be hateful. And you got people that deserve to have good health because they are helping others and inspiring others. We can never question why with God. And I get that. But I'm just saying, Angie, you're one of those great people that I wish I had met when you first started your journey, because you wouldn't have went through half of the pain that you went through by yourself. And I'm sorry that
it was yeah. I never regret any part of the journey, that not having the support, because it builds the story, it builds the strength, it builds the endurance. Without those things, the story would not be this amazing. The experience would not be this miraculous.
You're right. You're right. And even though you're saying that, you're smiling, you're happy. My friend Alicia was the same way. I remember when I was speaking to her on the phone and she was like, yeah, I'm picking out caskets. And I broke down and I don't want to hear no conversation like that.
I hear my own funeral.
Man, I'm
halfway done. I'm halfway done with paying for my funeral.
See, when I hear that from people, it breaks me because I'm like, what? Like you're over here. And when she would tell me things like that, she'd say it like it was like me picking new shoes or me going, like somebody going to a hair store and picking a new hairdo. She's going to pick caskets. Oh yeah. And then after that, I'm planning my home going. Like this woman left with so much strength. And even though some people would say cancer won, they didn't. At least it won in my book.
Yeah, you do. I have my urn. I know what I want. And I don't want to leave people with that burden. I don't want to not have what I want. I want to be cremated. I have done a video and given it to my power of attorney, which is my cousin.
Yes.
He will fulfill my wishes. I do not want to be resuscitated. If it gets to a point where they're talking about life support, no, don't do that to me. Allow me to leave the way that God intended to. Some people think that a win means becoming cancer free. That is not everybody's win. A win to me is spreading the word and leaving my mark here. And if my mark is to leave here with it or leave here without it, I'm content with either way. A win is what you do with the story, the impact you make on people that's watching, the impact that you make on people that don't know you. That's the win.
Wow. Amen. And I know a lot of people followed me last year. One of my childhood friends who I grew up with, she took a drive all the way from Arizona all the way here to Illinois. And she did not tell me, Angie, that she was here. She was just like you. She doesn't like to ask people for help. She's a strong woman. She wanted to do it all on her own, but she came out here with her daughter. And it was just her and her daughter in that car. And she was due to start a job on Wednesday, but Monday she ended up collapsing in a parking lot of a mall. And her daughter didn't know how to do CPR because she's young. So she was without air for several minutes, long enough for her to become brain dead. And when I heard that she was here and she didn't tell me, I blame myself. And a lot of people that know me, they know that I still blame myself for this, but she came here and didn't tell me and I didn't know. But when I did find out she was here, I found out through her sister that she was on life support. And I want to tell you guys the hardest thing, if anybody knows me, I don't like hospitals. I have to help people with schooling and nursing, but they don't know that's one of my triggers. I have to pray before I go into a hospital. But when I came to see her, she was all tubed up. And when it got to the point where they had to take her off, they did what's called a walk of hope. Do you know what that is, Angie? Out here in Illinois. So we were at a hospital that's over here by my house. And when they said, yeah, her mom wants you to walk with her with the walk of hope, I'm like, what's the walk of hope? I'm like, oh, okay, we're about to do like a race or something, a walker. And they're like, no, that's when you roll out the person, you know, their hospital bed, and the nurses and the doctors, they stand there saluting you. Y'all, look, I would say in my life, that's the hardest thing I ever had to do. I was going to tell her mom, no, I'm not doing this. You out of your mind. But y'all, I kind of had to do it. You know, I couldn't tell her mom no. And that was the hardest thing, going down a whole hallway, and all these doctors and nurses are saluting her because she's going to be giving her organs and stuff away. So I learned a lot about the value of life. And I'm just telling you, Angie, what I went through, it still bothers me to this day, the people that I've lost that have been so close. So, Angie, like I said, I'm hoping that me and you can build a great friendship, because I see that a lot of people have done you wrong, just like me. I've been out here 11 years, and I'm not really that close to a lot of women. I do want to give a shout out to Yellow Tea Rose, because this woman is a beautiful woman who also lives in Illinois. So maybe we can all get together, Angie, because she's somebody I look up to. She's an older woman, but she comes with so much class and poise, and she's beautiful. And she's been following me for almost 2 years, I think, right, Yellow Tea? I could be wrong. So, and Cheryl, there's a lot of people that don't live here, but I'm telling you, Angie, there's a lot of Black women who have my trust and support, because they've never let me down. So I know that we've been through a lot of bad apples, but I promise you, there are some good ones out there, Queen. And like I said, you have a new sister here. And the good news is, I'm here in the same state as you. I might be like 50 miles away from you, but I'm willing to travel those miles for you. I am. Yeah. And there won't be any excuse. If I can do it, I will do it. If I can't, I'm sending someone to come get you. But I'm not going to let you be in that space again where you have to call all these people. Oh, yeah, girl, I'm busy. No, they're not busy. They just don't want to do it. So I just want you to know that if I'm available, I'm going to make myself available. And if I can't, I'm going to find another way. I'm a fighter, too. So I just wanted to tell you that. So with that being said, let me share your video one more time for those who just got in and didn't see it. And then I will wrap up. Okay, Queen? So just sit back and I'm going to play this one more time.
You know that an eagle is the longest living non-human species? An eagle can live 70 years. But when the eagle turns 40, it has an important decision to make. After 40 years, the eagle's beak begins to bend, so it no longer can rip open the carcass, and its talons become weak, so it no longer can grip the fish, and his feathers become thick and heavy, so he can no longer soar. So at 40 years old, the eagle has to get all of his strength to get back up to the mountain. And when he gets back to the mountain, he's got a decision to make. If he's going to live another 30 years, he has to bang his beak against the mountain until it falls off. And then when the beak grows back, he uses the new beak to pick out all of his talents. And he's in his nest bleeding. But he knows that God strengthens through subtraction. And after he knocks his beak off and pulls his talents out, now he's got to pull out every one of his feathers so new feathers can grow. And it takes 150 days for a 40-year-old eagle to add 30 years to his life.
So guys, again, please make sure you follow Angie on Instagram, neighborhood_hope_dealer. If you guys have any questions, or if you want to, send her a care package, feel free to inbox her. If you live in the state of Illinois or you have family or resources that can help this woman, she's open to all of that. Just please don't waste her time, and please don't send her any gibberish about me, because she is going to tell me. So please don't do nothing stupid. At the end of the day, this is not about negativity. This is about something positive. And if you're not going to donate or you're not going to share, then please shut the hell up and go about your life, because we're not on that. This is serious here. Like I said, we only get one life. That's all we get, y'all. When are y'all going to realize that our life can be taken just like that? Just like that. Y'all think y'all going to be here till y'all 120? No. We all have an expiration date. We just don't know when it is. But if I were you, I would start redirecting that negative energy and changing it into positive, especially if you have kids. Some of you mothers shouldn't have even had any kids because you suck at being a mother, and your actions will always reflect that. That's why I tell these women, what you do online, it decides the life of your kids. It does. Because you can leave a legacy of them being judged their whole life, them being bullied, harassed because of something their parent did. That does happen. It really does. So if you guys don't understand what I'm saying, then maybe you should go back to school to figure it out. But at the end of the day, guys, I know this wasn't a show you guys were hoping for, but there will be more shows. I just want you to know that I'm always not going to talk about accountability. We're going to talk about real life issues too, like I've done in the past. So with that being said, Angie, I want to say thank you. Thank you for giving me your time. I know that you had other things more important to do, but you shared your time with me. And time is something we can never get back. And I just want to say I appreciate you. I love you. I'm praying for you. And you're now something that I'm really going to put energy into. Instead of me worrying about how people are trying to take me out, take me down, I'm going to redirect that into helping you, because I honestly feel like you are someone that is going to inspire others with your testimony. And we're going to fight together. Okay. So Queen, like I said, I know you have to go. So if you want to leave now, you can. I'm just going to do my outro and then I'm out too. Okay.
I'm here with you to the end. You riding with me, I'm riding with you.
That's my girl. See that, y'all? She cares. So, guys, listen. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your Sunday. I do have some shows coming up, and I'm hoping Angie could even be a guest and give me her opinion on these shows. It sounds like we go through similar things in life. And shame on those Black women and Black men who have nothing better to do than to hate on a woman who did nothing to them. I just wanted you guys to see from all angles. There are Black people out there that just hate others because of the way other people love them. See, most of my haters are jealous because I'm bigger than they are, and they'll never reach the level that I'm at. I'm saying that heavy on the never. They will never reach where I'm at because of the way they're going about it. And they think that people don't tell me things. I get told things all the time. I just don't share it. And to those people who said, "Oh yeah, she's quiet because she's scared," no, people that know me know I play chess. I don't play checkers. So I'm not going to be like a chihuahua and start yelling online about do it. That's not me. But what I do is behind the scenes. So please don't think nothing is happening. So just know that I'm not messy and I'm not going to be loud and bitter like you. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave. Have a great Sunday, guys. I will keep praying for anybody who's going through something. Anyone that is going through a tough time, just remember that we only get one life. Is it that important to stress over? Is it that important to keep obsessing over other people? If you're going to obsess over someone, obsess over your own life, not someone else's. That shows a lot about you. But at the end of the day, to those people who don't like me or Angie or anyone else who holds you accountable or tells it like it is, that is a you problem. You need to get some help. Okay? So with that being said, guys, I'm out. Have a good day.